Today's stay-at-home dad lesson. Just because your friend lets you borrow a skid steer for free does not mean you have suddenly been called into the landscaping ministry. Hey guys, I'm Isaiah, and welcome to God, Guns, and Diapers. This is a place where we talk about faith, firearms, and fatherhood, because more than ever, those three things matter right now. And if you're trying to be a better man, a better protector, and a better dad, you're in the right place. And hopefully we both learned something today, because I certainly did. Today's Bible verse is Proverbs 11, verse 2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. This is the perfect verse for the lesson because it's simple. I knew how to run a skid steer. I did not know how to landscape. There's a big difference between being able to move dirt and actually knowing where the dirt is supposed to go. So most days I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I make snacks, break up arguments, clean up mysterious sticky spots, and trying to remember if anybody brushed their teeth that day. But for one day, one glorious day, I had a skid steer. And let me tell you, nothing changes a man faster than going from loading and unloading the dishwasher to operating heavy equipment. I started the day as a responsible father, and I ended the day as a slightly motion-sick construction worker with no real plan or, several new piles. You know, my wife told me what she wanted done. She had a vision of what we were going to do to the yard. She explained the plan, where she wanted cut and where she wanted, things leveled out. Here's the problem. My wife was speaking landscaping, and I was listening in skid steer. She said, move this stuff over here, flatten this spot out. And all I heard was, please create a post-apocalyptic lumber, rock, and dirt fortress in the yard. And that's exactly what I did. As a stay-at-home dad, I don't get a lot of opportunities to use heavy machinery. My normal equipment is a vacuum, stroller, maybe the wagon or the front pack if we're going for a walk outside. So when my buddy said I could borrow a skid steer, it felt like I'd been promoted. For one day, I was not just a dad, I was a dad with hydraulics. I was no longer just picking up toys, I was picking up the earth itself. And for the first hour, I felt amazing. I had the bucket moving. I had all the levers moving. I was looking around the yard saying, somebody get this guy a hard hat and a thermos and a vest. I was basically just that one reflective vest away from starting my own earth-moving landscaping company. Then something unexpected happened. I started getting a little motion sick, which is really humbling because nothing says rugged man of the land like needing a ginger ale after driving a machine that goes 5 miles an hour. I went inside the house and I told my wife, I was like, I think I'm getting motion sickness. And with all the love and compassion of a woman who understands the value of free equipment, she said something along the lines of, you better get back out there. We don't want to miss the opportunity to use the equipment. That's when I realized that our marriage is two people becoming one flesh, and one of those people is much better at the return on investment for time. So I came back out and I continued, and when I thought I was finished, I was like, okay, I think I did a pretty good job. I was tired, it was dirty, I had stuff all over me. I had used the machinery. In my mind, I had really done something. Then my wife came outside for the post-project evaluation. She said, you just push this rock. And then, you just push this wood pile into 2 piles. And I had to reply. I was like, well, no, I created big piles of wood and dirt. It's called progress. This wasn't a project. This was a very slow yard tornado. Free equipment is only free until your wife sees what you do with it. You know, as a stay-at-home dad, I'm used to cleaning up messes. I'm not used to creating them with diesel power. I didn't have a landscaping plan, but I had a bucket and enthusiasm. It was not incompetence. It was a dad confidence under pressure. So apparently in landscaping, moving something from one inconvenient location to another inconvenient location is not the same thing as finishing the job. I thought I had improved the yard. Turns out I just relocated evidence. This is where Proverbs 11 verse 2 comes in. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. And today I had learned something important. I may know how to run the skid steer, but I do not know how to landscape. There's a difference between operating equipment and having a plan. My wife had the vision. She had the plan. I had the diesel. And unfortunately, the diesel went rogue. I had the confidence, the controls, and absolutely no idea on how to do landscaping or have a landscaping degree. Now for our firearm bit of the day. The same thing goes for our everyday carry equipment. We can go out and buy the best firearm, best optics, ammo that we can think of, and everything else we can picture using in our mind's eye for that emergency situation. But it's useless and extra weight unless you learn how to use it to the best of your ability. So just because you know how to fire the gun and use the trigger and use the sights, unless you practice with it and be humble about it, you're not going to get any better. So the stay-at-home lesson of the day is this. Hi, Henry. Before you borrow heavy machinery, ask 3 questions. What exactly are we moving? Where is it going exactly? And most importantly, when it's a mess afterward, who's responsible for cleaning it up? And the answer to number 3 is probably you, and you may want to spend a little bit more time in prayer before turning the ignition key. So today's Bible lesson is humility. And sometimes that humility looks like you standing in your front yard, staring at the 6 piles of dirt, rock, wood, and other paraphernalia as your wife asks you, so what was the plan here? And the honest answer was, there's not a plan. There was only a skid steer. And for one day, this stay-at-home dad had the time of his life operating the heavy machinery, even if all I did was just push rock.